Getting turned down for loans because of your credit? Well, there's a lender right now running ads all over the place. You've probably seen them, promising up to a $10,000 loan, even if your credit's not that great. And the best part about this loan is they're claiming you can get funded as soon as the same business day. Sounds like the answer, right? But before you hit submit, there's a few things we need to cover. I'm breaking down the approval requirements, the real interest costs, how this loan actually works, and whether it's a smart short-term move or a long-term financial mistake. So the loan we're talking about is from NetCredit, and I'm here at their website. It says, the credit you've been looking for. Fast funding, flexible terms, simple application. So NetCredit offers two credit products, an unsecured personal loan and an open-ended line of credit. The biggest difference of these two loans are the lending amounts. The line of credit has a credit line of up to $4,500, and the unsecured personal loan has a credit line of up to $10,000. Personally, I like the open-ended line of credit, even if your credit limit is lower, because you can draw from it at any time. For example, if you're approved for $4,500 and only need $1,000, you can draw that $1,000 and only make payments on that $1,000, and you still have $3,500 to draw from if needed. And once you pay back whatever you borrowed, you're still gonna have that amount to borrow from again, similar to the Elastic loan. Video here if you wanna check that out. Whereas a personal loan is closed-ended. You borrow $4,500, you automatically start paying interest on that full $4,500, even if you only use $1,000. And once you pay that loan back, that's it. You can't draw from it again. If you want more money, you need to reapply, which means another hard credit check. With the open-ended line of credit, they only run your credit one time. So to apply for NetCredit, all you need is basic information, a valid checking account, and verifiable source of income. One thing I do like about NetCredit is they don't run a hard credit check to see if you pre-qualify. Once you see your pre-qualification and what you actually qualify for, if you do want to proceed, they will run a hard credit check. But if you're not sure if you'll qualify or if you'll get the amount you're looking for, you can check without any hit to your credit score, which is great. So one of the ways they approve you without relying heavily on your credit score is by checking your bank history. So you want to make sure you don't have any NSFs, a negative balance, any bounced checks, and that you do have regular income deposits. A drawback to NetCredit is they're not available in all states. For example, in California, they do offer a personal loan, but they don't offer an open-ended line of credit, and they don't offer any credit products in New York State. Here's a list of the states NetCredit is available. I'll leave it up for a second as we go on. So NetCredit itself is not a bank. Their partner banks include Capital Community Bank, Republic Bank and Trust, and TAB Bank to actually underwrite and fund your loan. And funding bank would depend on the state you're in and type of loan. So your loan doesn't come directly from NetCredit. But NetCredit does service it, meaning they handle the payments, account notification and documents, and customer support. So once you apply and if approved, you can have your funds in as little as the next business day. But a plus of NetCredit is if you are approved before 11 a.m. Central Time, you may receive your funds the same day. All right, so now that we know all the technical details of NetCredit, let's talk the most important part, cost and interest. So interest rate and fees entirely depend on the state, but I'll give you an example. In Arizona, you can borrow a personal loan from $1,000 to $10,000 and rates from 34.9 to 99.9%. You can also borrow a line of credit from $500 to $7,000. And in California, you can borrow a personal loan from $2,500 to $10,000 and rates ranging from 36% to 40 and change, which 40%, anywhere you cut it is still high, but it's a whole lot better than 99%. So one thing that's a deal breaker for me as far as the line of credit goes is that the cost is really high. So for example, if you want to draw $2,000, very easy to do that. Few simple clicks, you can have your money in your bank in as little as the same day. But right off the top, there's a 10% cash advance fee. So if you draw that $2,000, you're not gonna get that full $2,000. You have a 10% cash advance fee, so they're gonna take out $200. So you're only gonna get $1,800, but you're still gonna owe $2,000. On top of that, there's a statement balance fee. So if you borrow $2,000, your statement balance fee will be anywhere from $63 to $136. This is not interest. This is not principal. This is a statement balance fee. So on the low end, your total payment will be $126. On the high end, it's gonna be $273 total. And then you might be thinking, all right, you know what? That's doable. $273 a month on a $2,000 loan. I can do that. Well, hold on a second. There's one more thing. It's not a month. It's bi-weekly. So you're gonna be paying this amount. Let's just stick with this high amount, $273 every 2 weeks. So you're gonna potentially pay $546 every month on a $2,000 loan. And only a fraction of that is going towards principal. So you can end up in a real bind and be worse off than before you even took out this loan. So let's see what people who have actually used NetCredit have to say. If you look at their fee schedule, you get charged a 10% cash advance fee. So you borrow $500, you get charged 10% and get $450, and $450 gets deposited into your checking account, just like I explained. I just learned I'm paying $430 a month for a billing statement. So I'm assuming this person is talking about the balance statement fee, which is pretty high. When you need money in an emergency, it's okay, but the payback is the hard part. I got a line of credit for $4,550 back in September and paid them around $2,000, and my balance only decreased around $400. Plus, I wasn't informed the payments would be bi-weekly. See, that's why I do this, to try to inform people on things they might miss, because sometimes we apply for things and we might just see the approval amount. I got approved for $5,000. Great, let's go. Sign here. Give me my money. And you don't know about the balance statement fee. You don't know about the high interest, or you just overlook it and you don't know the payment schedule. Before you apply for anything, especially a loan, you need to know how that loan works. I'm letting mine go into collections. I paid $750 and only dropped my account $70. So there you go again with the high statement balance fee. But is it really worth it to mess up your credit for 7 years for $750? I would advise this person, this was 2 years ago, so it doesn't matter anymore. But I would have advised this person to try to take out another personal loan through a credit union or your local bank, pay this loan off, and then pay a lot lower interest monthly without a statement balance fee to your bank without messing up your credit. Called customer service for payoff amount, mailed a check for the full amount, check cash the following day, but they claimed I still owe $240. This is highway robbery and I'm willing to go all the way. That's pretty funny. So here's what probably happened. If you're mailing them a check, interest is still occurring daily, or maybe you still had a statement balance fee for the next payment. So you called for a payoff amount, sent them the check, but you incurred another statement balance fee. That's what I'm assuming here. So anytime you make a payment for the payoff amount, try to pay it online, because every day that passes, you're incurring interest, or in this case, a statement balance fee. I tried NetCredit for a credit line a while back. My experience was pretty smooth. The application process was straightforward, and I had my funds relatively quickly. One thing to note is their interest rates can be on the higher side compared to some of the other personal loan options. If you're in a pinch and need quick access to funds, it might be worth considering, but definitely compare with other options. That's pretty much how I was gonna close this video. Pros of NetCredit: all credit types welcome, fast online application, same day funding available, and no prepayment penalties. I don't think I covered that. So let's say you did borrow $4,500 and you know you have a check coming from your job, whatever. You have a check of $4,500 coming, right? You borrow that $4,500 just to bridge you till that check gets here. So you can pay off the full amount minus your statement balance fee and minus your cash advance fee. So you don't have to go the full term of the loan, racking up statement balance fees every 2 weeks. You can pay it off right away if you wanted to. They do also report to Experian and TransUnion. So if you're looking to rebuild credit, this is also a great way to do it, because on-time payment history can potentially build a higher credit score. So the cons of NetCredit are high interest and fees, not available in all states, only reports to 2 of the 3 major credit bureaus, and one of the biggest downsides to NetCredit is the cost of borrowing, which is higher than most traditional loans. So if you're looking for long-term funding, I'd probably look elsewhere. But as an emergency option, if cheaper financing isn't available, I'd at least check my pre-qualification. Then you can make an informed decision with what you took away from this video, instead of randomly applying without knowing all the facts. So I hope this video was helpful. Financial links in the description where you can claim $100 by doing nothing else but signing up for Chime, opening up a new bank account, and following a few simple steps.